Morning, guys. Welcome to the kitchen after weeks and weeks of being gone. I haven't been gone anywhere. I just haven't been painting. My heart and soul haven't been into painting lately, guys, in the last couple of weeks. And so I realize that if I'm not present, mind, body, and soul, nothing works for me. And then it just becomes more and more frustrating. So, you know, sometimes you have to just step back and kind of regroup. So let's regroup. Let's start first. Let's talk about my setup because it's a question that gets asked quite frequently. My setup it's pretty basic, you guys. It's easy, cheesy, and cheap. So I'm painting on my kitchen table. I have minimum space in my house. I don't have a single extra room. My extra rooms are occupied by children. So I'm painting on my kitchen table, covered in plastic. I have a basic spinner under here from Amazon. On top of my spinner, I have I don't even know if this is 12. It's about a 14 by 24 ceramic tile. My house was built in 1930. Everything wiggles and wobbles and it's uneven. So underneath my tile, I put 4 blobs of modeling clay from the dollar store. And that way I can put my level on it. And then I can kind of tap each side and get balance, proper balance. I do the same thing when I'm resining. I'm going to paint and talk at the same time because I'm really good at it. My base. We're going to bloom transfer. So my first my base color is gray, and this one is black. You guys are all like, yeah, we can see that. And we're just going to mix them together. So I'm kind of trying to get more contrast in my swipe. And so I decided maybe I need more contrast in my base because when we transfer the base as well. So big gray and black, you guys. And now I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, my setup. Yeah, super cheap. You know what? You don't have to have fancy lighting and all that stuff. It's nice, but you have to stay within a budget level that's comfy for you and affordable. And that's what I do. So my colors are all going to be kind of weird today. I made myself a promise to use up existing paints, and that's what I'm doing. So my first color was Amsterdam white mixed with a little bit of Deco Art white satin enamel for no reason other than it was mixed up from a couple weeks ago. So this I've discovered. I did a video a minute ago, and you're not going to see it because I said something bad about my neighbor, and then I realized that was uncool and not very nice, and you never know who's going to see it, so you guys won't see the video either. I said that it was macaw, but it wasn't macaw. It was ballgown. We're going to do a little bit more of the white. I'm just looking for a pretty puddle of color. Composition is not going to matter one bit. It's just about getting some color. Blacks. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so dumb. Okay, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to blow that out or what I'm going to do with it, but we're going to try. Okay, well, maybe I haven't regrouped, you guys. Maybe I'm just as dozy as before. Okay, well, let's see. Oh, good Lord. Oh, well, I'm just about winded myself. So do not do that at home. That was like 10 times the black cell mix that you require for anything. Okay, let's get my puddle back to the center almost, or at least moved out. And I'm going to blow this corner out. Oh, that was so dumb, you guys. Oh, well, no one ever said you watch me because I'm smart. Watch me because I'm entertaining. entertaining. All right, we're gonna just do a little bit of shifting here. My colors are awesome. All right, let's put that over there and let it sit. So we're gonna transfer our bloom onto a 4x16 ceramic tile. I don't do anything to these. I give them a little wipe and a wash. And then I smear black paint all over them again. I generally wash them with Windex, but it doesn't really mean much because I often just grab them and paint them and wipe them, and they're always fine. My base paint. My base paint is Valspar Contractor's Grade base paint. Don't buy it if you think it's cheap and you're saving yourself money. You are, but it doesn't work worth a darn. It is infused with air. I think they pay extra in the factory to have extra air put into it. It is the worst paint I've ever used in my life. I have put every product known to mankind into it to change the composition of the paint. I have added base, I have added white glue, I have added polyacrylic, Floetrol, I've even used Floor Restore because Floor Restore is a polyurethane based product, and I was at the point where I don't really care what it is. I'm going to try it, but nothing really works very well, and it's I guess because it's contractor's grade, maybe it's not a high quality paint, I don't know, but it's awful stuff. So one thing I have learned is that because I resin the majority of my tiles that I like, resin hides a multitude of sins. And so all the little pitted holes that occur when the bubbles pop as it's drying, they all fill in with resin and you can't even see them. What I don't like is the fact that they also pop in our colors and leave, as we all know, the little pimply pock marks, and I hate those. All right, let's try to spin this out. I'm going to move it 1/2 inch. All right, let's spin this base paint out. So I'm trying to keep my base at the consistency, not the consistency, but at the thickness that I want for my overall finished piece. And the problem I have with these transfer swipes or bloom swipes, transfers, or whatever we're calling these, is that I have to have enough base paint to move my colored paint, but not so much that I spin my colored design off. And it's always a fine line for me because there's sometimes really, really pretty areas that unfortunately I lose. But in the piece that I spoke unkindly of the neighbor that you're never going to see, I kind of had a brainwave that I always tell you guys the same thing. Contrasting lines make the best modifications, obviously. If you're doing dark over light, light over dark, then you're going to see your pattern more distinctly. So I thought, well, why don't I lay my base coat down with more contrast? So this is the whole mission of this transfer swipe. Transfer bloom swipe. Let's really complicate it. All right. So I'm going to give this a little wipe because I do not have walls set up. And I don't want to put my walls up because I lose a lot of light and I get a lot of variation of the light, and it's really, really hard to follow for you guys on the video. So we're going to try to do this and spin it as tidily as possible, but it may take a couple minutes extra. So yesterday I woke up to sunshine. Beautiful sunshine, like plus 11 degrees. It was absolutely gorgeous in Greater Victoria. And as spring is sort of rapidly around the corner, I have a ton of yard work to do. And a lot of it is yard work that I should have done last fall. But by the time the fall comes, I'm so fed up with the garden that I just slam the kitchen door and ignore it and think, oh, I'll do it in the spring. And of course, it's spring. And Oh God, what are those children doing? Oh, that's my granddaughter downstairs bonking on something. I have old growth still there and new growth coming up, and it's just an absolute mess. So it takes me forever to get it cleaned up. But it was nice. It was absolutely 100% rejuvenating to wake up in sunshine and not have to be kind of in winter wear. And yeah, it was awesome. All right, guys. Sorry. I'm kind of dilly-dallying. I have to. What's the back of this look like? Oh, it's been painted a few times, the back of this one. Okay, I think I'm ready to go. It's been a crazy busy couple of weeks. My daughter has gone back to work, so she found a new job, and we found a daycare for my granddaughter. And so we were, you know, it's a funny time that we're living in right now because of COVID. You know, you used to be able to go in and sit with your children and all the rest of it, but now they try to discourage families and people, obviously. But you know, this is this little monkey's first time away from Mom and Nana, and it's pretty scary. And so we took her to the daycare, and the first couple days were like, I don't know who you had to get out of the yard quicker, me or the baby, because I was like this big sappy mess. She was sitting in the kitchen window with this saddest face you ever could see. I could see the like, no. But she's doing much better. Big transition. All right, my friends, we're going to, oh my goodness. Okay, well, all I want is striations of color, so it doesn't matter what way we go. We're going to pick this up. So I'm using a putty knife from the dollar store, and I'm just going to let that paint run down, and that's it. Let's just do this. So yeah, it's very good for her. She's basically, you know, a single child. Well, she is a single child. She has a brother, but he is a stepbrother, and he is 17 and just looks at little people like, ugh, on the way by. So it's very good for her to learn to share and be amongst other kids. Okay, so I don't have as much variation as I was hoping for, which was my whole goal. Okay, let's come back in this way. All right, I'm going to put that puddle over there. And sometimes I look at these and I think, I don't know if I even want to modify. Sometimes they're so pretty just left alone. But the mission was to modify. Okay, you guys, we're going to just give this a little spin. Not a lot, no walls. And because our base is really the thickness that we want once the piece is dry, we don't have to spin it a lot because all we're doing is trying to move our colors. We're not trying to spin out any base. Oh, that's an awful noise. So we're just moving color around. And we're going to spin it one more time, I think, the other way. Okay, so we have lots to work with, except this, which is really quite dreadfully boring. So I think Do I have enough left on my puddle to just put a splash of color in there? If I hadn't mixed it, I would have been better, but I mixed it up. All right, I don't care. I'm going to take some anyway because that gray is dreadful. All right, let's just go back in. That's not what I wanted to do either. Look at that. What an airhead I am. All right. So now let's get rid of that. I might have to get rid of this too because that's not at all appealing. I'm not very smart, you guys. Just take that off. So I'm involved. Right now it's just all talking. I work in extended care with relatively cognitive residents of varying degrees of physical disabilities, but sound cognition. And so we have an activation director that's always kind of looking for, you know, fun projects and things to do with the residents. And I had mentioned to her the other day that I always thought it would be really fun to try to do some paint pouring. And she said, absolutely, tell me what we need and let's just go for it. And I thought, oh my goodness. So we're going to try to come up with some sort of a system. Sorry guys, I'm just going to do a bit of a tidy up here. Some sort of a system where I put my paints into maybe squeezy bottles. I thought would be the best for arthritic fingers to squeeze them. They're probably not going to be able to spin their own pictures, but with a little bit of help from the girls, they will be able to create the same things, not blooms, just your basic acrylic pouring type thing. Yeah, I'm excited. So we have a we have a craft sale every year, an annual Christmas bazaar that attracts a fair amount of people in and out through our doors. So I'm excited to do some of these projects with my seniors, and the tentative plan is that they will go on the resident craft table. A little bit of shifting and stretching, guys. All right. Oh my God. I don't know. I am right off my game with style. Okay. Another quick spin. And then we're going to modify. I still have a lot of weight there. I gotta lose a sweater. You guys, I'm cooking here. Not literally. I don't cook in the kitchen. I paint. I can see a lot. I don't want to spin too much because I want to keep some of this white, but I have to do something with that. See, my common area has a beautiful little sunroom. Well, it's not little, it's quite a good sized sunroom. And they said that we are more than welcome to put up some temporary shelving and stuff so that the residents, I thought we would do tiles because that's easiest for them to manage. places for them to dry where it's not in the way of other programs. And then we're not going to resin, obviously. We won't resin. It's got to get rid of some of, I don't know if you guys can see what I'm trying to get rid of. I'm trying to get rid of the weight of that paint. Without completely losing composition, so. I'm just going to stretch this right out, and we're going to modify it anyway, so as much as we're going to lose our nice pretty cells, doesn't really matter. All right, well, that's slightly different than it was, and it was quite pretty to begin with. So let's make it amazing to justify all that spinning and tipping, tilting and dumping. Okay, guys, we do have contrast, which is good. So because I'm kind of like your dollar store diva, I keep everything as inexpensive as possible. So the dollar store has a variety of different things that can work as tools. You have tools in your kitchen drawer, guaranteed. A pen, anything, a pen, a bamboo kebab stick. This is a manicure implement. I use it over and over and over and over and over and over again. These ones are amazing. These are metal kebab, not kebab sticks, but party skewers, like appetizer sticks. My friend Elise sent me these, as well as my spinner. And yeah, they're amazing. They make really cool little lines, and we'll go back and talk about that in a few minutes. But for now, let's make some lines, you guys. So I'm not gonna keep it simple because I never do. Just basic line work, right? You're gonna go in like that. Those dental toothpicks work really well. There's a some sort of a dental pick. I don't really know what it's called. Works great. So we're just gonna carry on just like that. I might actually get a new one because my end is starting to fray, and so it starts to make less tidy lines. And because I like everything crisp, it doesn't work for me. So I have to take my gloves off, and that's why you're not going to see the last video that I was chattering about. Because my hands are all scratched from chopping down pampas grass, and the dialogue that went along with it was when I had bad things to say about the neighbor, and it wasn't cool. So ignore the scratches on my hands, you guys. All right, where are we gonna go? There's some really pretty areas that I don't want to disturb, but since this is a modifying piece, let's just modify. Paint on this time. I always wipe my, well, I don't always, I quite often wipe my kebab stick most of the time, but here's a good way to kind of put more little details in without wiping your stick. If I'm doing a piece that's quite florally, in more tropical colors, which I know is very seldom, I don't wipe the stick because, as you can see, it creates really pretty little details without ever doing anything. Just keep your paint on. And that's it, you guys. We're just going to keep coming in and just working out this piece. Just adding lines and dots. Same paint, 2 dots. Okay, let's come in here. So here's some really nice contrasting lines. And obviously, and we talk about this quite frequently, the more contrast, the more beautiful your patterns you can create. It's not necessary. You can still create lovely designs. Gooey bit right there. You can still create lovely designs without contrasting lines. But common sense dictates that the more contrast, the nicer the line. So go slow, guys. You don't have to be, it's not a rush. It's just go slow. So the wider the line you like depends on, well, the wider the line you like. What am I trying to tell you? If you want a wider line, then you hold your stick on more of an angle. So we're going to come in here and we're going to break some of this up because it's quite heavy. So fine, I'll show you. I don't know what I'm trying to tell you, so I'll just show you. Fine lines on an angle. Big angle, big line. So you can really cut your piece up. If you get some areas that are really, really heavy in color or you're not happy with them, hold it on an angle. Break it up. This is so pretty. I don't really want to do a lot in here. Okay, so let's just make some lines. Actually, I'm hoping my head's not in that. Let's go back in from this direction. Quite an angle. So you can see where my white line is quite a bit larger because I'm holding it on an angle. Turn it around. Turn it around. So let's just make some lines. End of my bamboo nail thing. Little lines. Doesn't have to be major. I'm not pushing down all the time. I'm not touching the tile. Sometimes I am. Sometimes it's just as simple as just a really light touch of just little tiny lines. And you just want to pull it in. Like just pull in some little pieces, create some texture. Okay, let's try this one. This one's very cool. So I've talked about this before and I realized that for everybody that has joined me recently and hasn't seen this, I'm going to explain it again for you guys who watch me all the time and listen to me ramble on. Ignore me. Fast forward through this part, guys. Flat end. Interesting little flat end. Didn't really know what to do with it at first. I thought, well, what am I going to do with that? Makes really, really cool patterns by just popping it down and pinching the line together. Very hard for you to see. Intricate little lines, and I love it. I use it quite often. We'll do a fly down or fly by or close up. It's great for tapping on the edge. I don't have a lot of paint left. That wasn't a very good example. All right, quick wipe off now that I'm all covered in paint. The ball. This is the best. So I, again, was very fortunate to receive these from Elise through Amazon. I used to make my own. So if you're as cheap as me and you don't want to spend the money, I used to glue a bead on a bamboo kebab stick. And you can, you know, beads are a dime a dozen at the dollar store, and so are bamboo sticks. So you don't have to sell your firstborn, you guys. So for these ones, I just hover above and gently pull up as I go. Again, over and over with this technique and process. If your little curlicues are not holding up, come back. 20 minutes later, come back, you guys, and give them another half a twist. As our paints start to cure and set up, they'll hold their shape much nicer. Some brands of paint don't hold their shape at all. It doesn't have to be on a line. It can be in the middle. It can be wherever you as the artist want to put a curlicue or not. I do wipe off one after a curlicue, just so that we're not transferring discolored paint from one area to the other. Again, it's not necessary. If you're not concerned about it, then don't. Where else can we go, you guys? All right, that's pretty complicated. So we have little flowery things there. I think we need to bring something up here, just kind of for balance. Nothing major, we'll just leave paint on. And that's it. So if you really want to go to town on these types of embellished pours, you can. We're just going to uber do this because I haven't painted for so long. And you can take your same paint pots. If you want to go crazy, you can add dots. I dip once and I can go all the way up the line. The dots will automatically get smaller as the paint comes off. Yeah, you can just go crazy, you guys. Absolutely bonkers. Where else do we need a little dash? We didn't really need a little dash anywhere, I don't think, but it was fun to do. I think that's it. I think we're done. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me in the kitchen on this gorgeous Sunday, Greater Victoria. I'm going to shut you guys off or put you on pause, and then I will bring you down for a close-up, and then you'll be actually able to see like these little chains and the little lines that we've made. All right, guys, hang on. Here we go. If I lose you, you guys, I'm just going to thank you all now, because sometimes I push pause and my camera automatically just shuts down on me. It's not me, it's the camera. Surely it is. All right, I'm going to try pause, and if not, I will be right back. No, you'll be right back. No one will be right back. Okay, I did it. I pushed pause and you guys are back. So let's see if we can do this slowly. So now you can see all of these intricate little details and the striations of color, which really is what gives your piece, yeah, just lots of character, right? The more you look, your kind of eye travels all the way around. So this little chain right there, that's from our kebab stick. You can do it with anything though, guys. A popsicle stick, you know, even a little piece of paper. Like, you don't have to get all fancy. Yeah, nice colors. My colors. They're definitely my colors. I'm not 100% convinced. I should have put these 3 little dots right there, but I did. And it's not going to make or break it. I'll let it dry, and if I hate them, then I'll just take them out. So there, again, that's the results of leaving our paint on our kebab stick. All those gentle little stamen type things. So on a piece with more tropical colors, you can definitely create almost an orchid type edge on your blooms. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me in the kitchen this Sunday morning. The window to the right of me is showing gorgeous sunshine, and I think that I need to go out and work in the garden. All right, guys, take care, pour happy, stay safe, and we'll talk really soon. Bye, guys.